And welcome to our September fall edition of Sports Highlights. Greg Bickaveris, glad you're with us for our monthly interview program since February of 1992. Everybody's having a great 2023. Our guests for this show are Brek Hall and Mariah Parker. Our program comes on Mondays at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., weekends at 9 a.m. on Cox Cable, also Verizon 517, all over YouTube, all over social media, and you can share it on several platforms. All right, folks, Woodside's been a football program in a school since the fall of '96. This is the fall of 2023. They've only had 3 head coaches. This is the 3rd head coach, Brek Hall, who was a former assistant to Danny Dotson. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, big shoes to fill. Danny made multiple postseasons. He replaced Bob Schmidt, who used to coach Denby and York High School as well.
Yes.
And of course, now you step right in there.
Yes.
What are the biggest challenges?
Trying to take a couple steps further. Danny did a great job. Danny's a great coach. Danny's a great man. He's a great father. He's a great teacher. Big shoes to fill. I understand he's probably the winningest, we call modern football in Newport New City history. Mm-hmm. Love working for him. Just changing the culture a little bit to try to make it take a couple steps further. Win a region championship, win a state championship. That's what it's all about, but it's a process and it takes time.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you and Danny were friends too.
Oh yeah.
And he trusted you, you trusted him, mm-hmm. and now he pretty much is trusting you to take over. You're the next man up, Mm-hmm. And of course, the administration, the Newport News schools, and everything. But this is big shoes to fill. But I think Brek, you are ready for it, and we wish you all the best. And of course, football is not just fall; it starts during the off season with conditioning and staying in shape.
That is correct.
Talk about what the important factors are there.
Well, first of all, I'm a firm believer in multi-sport athletes. Again, if you're not doing something, then I want you in my weight room. Mm-hmm. If you're doing another sport, that's great. That's great. There's skills that are taught there that equate over to football and everyday life scenarios for that matter.
Right.
Okay, challenges. But again, when they're in there, again, we like to condition them and we like to work them out, make them, hopefully get them stronger.
Yeah.
Push them to the max.
Right, you're a PE teacher full time.
That is correct.
So you're in the building. That's very important.
Oh yeah.
Talk about what you think as far as the players are. They start earlier and earlier now. The games start in August. Mm-hmm. You guys have always played a tough non-conference schedule. You've already scrimmaged York and Lafayette as well, correct? Mm-hmm. So you've always played some very much scrimmages. Also in the past, they've done some 7-on-7 drills and so forth. But let's talk about the schedule. Talk about how it starts and what are you looking at in the beginning?
I think game number 1 is Hampton, so I think that's psychological mm-hmm. a lot when you're talking about Newport News City Schools. And I was born and raised here in Newport News. And we all know what the word Hampton means. It pretty much put our peninsula on the map in America.
Right.
There's no doubt. So again, that'll be a good game. We played well against them last year. Coach, what's his name?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow.
Yep.
Woodrow's done a great job. You could see how they started working their way up. Started slow, which is to be in a transition that huge. Mm-hmm. Was yeah. But he made the team transition a lot better later on in the season. They got a lot better. Grassfields will be the 2nd game. They are again building too. I believe it's their coach's 2nd year. I'm not for sure. I'm not so much on social media or things like that. I stay to myself, do my own thing, do my own job. I got a tough enough job, so I don't need to worry about somebody else's. That's for sure.
You're right. You're trying to manage the kids there for 48 minutes at
there you go.
At Woodside, and
that is correct.
It's offense, defense, and special teams. Talk about your high school upbringing and how that's helped you become a head coach.
My first head coach in high school level was Coach Netticombe, mm-hmm. Charlie Netticombe. He also coached track at Menchfield. Great guy. 40 years ahead of his time. There are things people are starting to do now that Coach Netticombe did. I want to be like that. I think Coach Netticombe was a KISS person, keep it simple, stupid. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, but he was extremely innovative in figuring things out to help the equation from football to track, and also running them both together. I'm a firm believer in that. I played for Coach Brown at Cortland High School in Spotsylvania. We won 4 state championships in the 80s. In the 80s, I was not a part of that. I lost in the state championship game. Then I went to Hargrave Military Academy the first year they opened up post-grad. Coach Joe Freeland, learned a lot from him, still contact him. Coach Brown's passed, Coach Netticomb's passed. The people that I have been, after Hargrave, I went to Valdosta State where Mike Leach was. He's passed. I learned a lot from him. Probably one of the funnier coaches I've been around, and I don't mean like on the TV interviews, ESPN. It's just, he's a funny guy. He's and he don't even mean to be. He's just one of those guys that he wants you. He probably don't want you to laugh at him, but it doesn't bother him.
Yeah.
And then I worked my way to a place, Louisiana Monroe. Coach Don Brecker was there for a year. Ended up transferring from there to a place called Northeastern State University, where I graduated with a bachelor's special ed and a master's in college teaching of health and physical education. I got a chance to GA for my program that I graduated from. We played in the national championship my sophomore year. Lost to Central State of Ohio. And then, like I said, we transitioned well to NCAA from NAIA. We played in the national semis one of my GA years. Played against Carson Newman, lost to them. And then the next year we lost to Mesa State in Colorado in the first round. So very successful college program. Coach Eck was my coach there. Coach Horner was my defensive coordinator. I was more of a connect with Coach Horner because I played free safety there. I've been a lot of places, but again, to me, it's an experience thing, and I don't think there's nothing more valuable in life than experience.
Right, that's true. On the road, especially, that really matures you as a young man too. You mentioned Coach Netticomb, and of course, his daughter is the athletic director at Menchville, and Coach Netticomb had great players like Rodney Womble and Al Toon. Of course, Al Toon played for the Jets as well, so excellent players. He coached at Newport News High School as well. You talk about the team this year, the 2023 team. Of course, it's an adjustment, but you were on the staff last year, so that's an easier adjustment than it was if you were coming from another city or a state.
You would think.
Yep, but it's still going to be starting from scratch. Right now, you don't know who your quarterback is.
That is correct.
Well, let's talk about your team. What do you expect?
To make the transition into a new culture.
Sure.
And being, again, selfless over selfish. When I look at my team and I ask my team, would you rather be All-State or win a state championship? If more people are raising their hands wanting to be All-State instead of win a state championship, then again, we still got too many selfish people there.
Right. You need team effort players, right? And really, there's nothing, this, Brek, better than anybody. There's nothing tougher than what you just experienced in the month of August as far as the heat, the anxiety of going back to school, to be hydrated, to be focused, because football is a very tricky game. If you let your guard down, that's when injuries happen.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that. How important it is to be disciplined.
Well, again, definitely disciplined in your craft. In other words, again, sometimes the craft in the offseason, lifting weights or condition. That means, hey, let's work that craft. There's other crafts we'll work too, but we need to be ready for that. So we are prepared for August, September, during August, during September, through the season. Again, early in the season, we see a lot of cramps because guess what? People haven't done the little things. The little things take care of the big picture. Stretch yourself, hydrate yourself, do what's asked of you, be coachable, play with a passion.
Right. And you got some good assistant coaches too. Now let me ask you, how many assistant coaches, including yourself, of course you're the head coach now, but that's another transition that you had to deal with. And of course you're dealing more with the athletic director now as well.
Yes. A lot of the guys that were with Danny are with me. Good guys. Like I said, it wasn't like it was like we knew this. Danny was ready to step down. He stepped down when he was ready to step down. All the guys were pretty much on board. There's a few new ones, not many. Not many at all, man. I like the guys that I work with. I know they trust me, and that's the main thing, is getting the staff together. First, you got to want to follow me. I got a vision. Keep your Kool-Aid in your mix, and I'll keep mine in mine.
There you go. Yeah. Absolutely, because the head coach is to delegate, and
Yes.
you've got to take the lead. You were hired as the head coach. There's no more co-head coach. You are the head coach. And of course, for a long time, we mentioned Bob Schmidt was there for 3 years. Danny was there for 24 years, and of course, he liked that wing T. That just like when Syracuse's head basketball coach left, doesn't mean Syracuse is going to continue with the zone.
That's exactly
That doesn't
right.
mean you're going to do the wing T either. Kaz back in the day would use the wishbone.
Oh, yeah.
And he won 3 state championships. But you have your own vision
Yes.
about the offense and defense.
Offense, I like to call my offense 5 linemen and 6 athletes. We run a gap blocking scheme, which is, again, I'm not one for, again, it's almost like the word wing T is illegal to say.
Yeah.
But I don't think people understand the concept of the blocking scheme. For the kids, it's a lot easier to learn.
Sure.
It teaches geometry, taking right angles, doing things that you need to do. Same thing as you're talking about Boeheim in his zone.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, knowing the angles and stuff. So again, it's good that I still have that basis there of the blocking,
Right.
but not the total wing T package.
Right. And Danny never swayed away from that.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah, it was like
But
that.
he's a chemistry teacher, so
Right.
I understand. It's
Right.
like he understands, hey, this is the way it's got to be, or there's going to be an explosion.
And he's got a Wade Mary background.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mix
So
that
he's-
together.
He's no fool, that's for sure.
Yeah, and exactly. You talk about how important it is to delegate with your assistant coaches and your players. It's really going to take some of your leaders on the team to step up, especially the seniors.
Yes. We don't have many seniors. A lot of them have departed. Again, I wish them well. I wish them good luck. Some things aren't for everybody. I get it. Change is inevitable. That's the society we live in nowadays. So again, I do wish them well. So I am trying to groom and find out who my leaders are. I probably don't have 2 hands full of seniors on my team, which is okay because I think that makes it easier for the transition of the culture.
Right. Right. It can't be the same old because life changes personally every day.
Yes.
And for business as well. It's no difference too.
That is correct.
But you talk about the district as well. So many teams make the postseason, but in a way that's not good. You don't want to be rewarded on mediocrity. We'll just say a 3-7 team made it last year.
Yes.
That is not a great season.
No, I'm not a believer in that. We talked about it. We had during the off season, we had our fall coaches meeting. I guess in our region, we get 6 people there. Some regions, some of the people were mad because they get 8. Tell you the truth, very rarely you're gonna see 8 beat 1.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's probably because the one got complacent. I'm a firm believer if you're not above 500, and I mean if you're not 6-4, then I don't think you should be going anywhere anyway. I think. As a society, we've accepted mediocrity, and it's okay. Let's reward it.
Right.
As you know, our society is definitely not in the best place right now.
Right. And we're talking to Brek Hall. He's the brand new head football coach at Woodside High School. Only 3 head coaches ever there. That's very impressive. Of course, Bob Schmidt, Danny Dotson, and now Brek Hall. And Brek will run his own different type of offense, like he said, defense, and of course, trick plays and onside kicks. You just don't see that much. And I know people don't realize a head football coach's job is never done on the field. When you go home at night, you're thinking of plays that you might want to do against Hampton, correct?
No doubt.
That you're thinking right now.
Yes, I'm a firm believer that the special teams is a third of the game, and the game starts with special teams. So why not be good at them?
Yeah.
Why not make a difference from the beginning? I'm a firm believer risk takers are difference makers. Okay, so again, that falls into your special teams and taking some risk at that level to get ahead. Because again, now we talked earlier about momentum, basically, doing things. And again, sometimes when you can get that momentum in a high school kid's head, you can almost break them from the jump.
Yeah.
Just from the mentality of, oh, we're down, we're done.
Yeah.
So I'll always do things special on special teams. There's no doubt I will be a risk taker. That's my job to win, put points on the board, and try to stop as many as I can. I understand the rules aren't against me so much as a defensive guy that we can stop people. But again, they want people to score now. I get it.
Right, and preparation is so important. Just like the coaches got to be prepared for each game they play, a regular season, 1 game at a time. but so do the players need to stay focused. Brek, all the best. We look forward to seeing some of your teams play in action this fall. Good luck to the Wolverines and your first head coaching job right at Newport News.
In Newport News.
Very good.
Not my first one. It's my second one.
Just, yeah,
Newport News.
First one at Newport News, right. Brek, all the best, my friend.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And we will be talking to you very soon as well. All right. Stay tuned for our next guest, Mariah Parker. She's the head women's basketball coach at Virginia Peninsula Community College. Sports Highlights rolls on in the month of September.
You're watching NNPS TV. Catch sports highlights on Mondays at 7, 2, and 7, and on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Visit us online at nnpstv.com to view all your favorite episodes. NNPS TV, watching education happen.
Welcome back to our September edition of Sports Highlights. Glad you're with us. Our program since February of 1992. Hope you enjoyed our first guest, Brek Hall, the brand new head football coach at Woodside High School. It's now a delight and a pleasure to talk to Mariah Parker. She's the head women's basketball coach at Virginia Peninsula Community College, used to be called Thomas Nelson Community College. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
And of course, you've got a background from North Carolina.
Yes.
So how did you get involved in basketball?
Been playing basketball a long time.
Right.
Since I was a kid. I have 3 sisters, so it's 4 girls. We all play basketball.
Right.
So I started out playing basketball. First, my high school. I started in middle school, but high school, you get serious with it. Did some AAU. But for high school, I played at Durham School of the Arts, which is a 3A in North Carolina. I had some phenomenal coaches there. Rena Armwood, Catherine Armwood, who are both Hall of Famers at North Carolina Central University. And then also Calvin Freeman, who was the head coach there, who instilled a lot of things in me when it comes to just being an athlete.
Sure.
But there is a such thing as burnout. So I think after high school, I was very burned out. I was a triathlete, so I played softball, volleyball, and basketball.
Wow.
I won Best Female Athlete of the Year my senior year in high school. And then to everyone's surprise, I said, I just want to take a break and just be a regular student.
Yeah.
So I went to college, despite everything and all of the workouts with colleges and things like that. I just decided, I want to take a break. My sister had just went off to VCU here in Richmond, in Virginia. And she did track and field. And just seeing the 2 years of her and how time consuming it was, I just didn't know if I wanted to do that. And then also I had a little taste of kind of teaching, coaching younger players at our team camps, and I fell in love with just being able to just show the examples and just the coaching aspect. And so even through college, I would come back and teach, coach the pitchers, help coach the new pitchers that were coming up in the softball field, help the basketball teams that was coming up. And then I think that's just how I got that taste for I think I want to go in the avenue more so of coaching rather than continuing, the athletic playing field for myself.
And of course, you went to UNC Greensboro and you got your master's at NC State. I mean, of course, right there in the best area for college basketball, men and women both.
Absolutely.
So talk about that experience.
Just growing up, of course, in Durham, you had that rivalry, Duke versus UNC. I am a UNC girl to heart.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Born and raised, that's just who I am. Surprisingly, though, my parents are NC State fans, so they're Wolfpack fans. And my sister, two of my sisters are Duke fans. So we had like a divided household.
Yeah.
But we grew up very close, in close relationships to the families of Phil Ford, who played at UNC.
Right.
And so just seeing the love and just how, basketball is so important in the community. You cannot help but to get on that bandwagon, to get on the train. So I remember the nights, going to Franklin Street in Chapel Hill and watching the games, and seeing if Duke wins, just how one side of the city just goes crazy, and if UNC wins, how the others. It's something you have to experience, and
Right.
you have to be from that area to really understand the attachment that sport, that rivalry has on that area.
Yeah, we both, Ray and I both worked a lot of games over the years, but I'll say this, working in North Carolina, there's nothing like it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like a North Carolina basketball game.
Absolutely.
Duke, NC State, Wake Forest, they're there. You got your masters at NC State. Of course, you got family members that love NC State too, but there's nothing like that triangle. Nothing. I think it's better than anything.
Oh, absolutely.
But, when you're coaching young girls, like you are, a brand new coach at Virginia Peninsula Community College, you've been in their shoes.
Yeah.
But they also have to realize that one day they're going to be teachers or mothers, and the discipline that you're showing them now will help them with academics, athletics, and activities, but in the future, be from young girls to become adult women.
Right. And that's exactly what it's about. It's beyond basketball.
Right.
And I tell them that all the time. I'm not just coaching you to go to the next level. I'm not just coaching you so you can go to a 4-year. I'm coaching you so that you can become a young lady in this society.
Right.
And that was what was instilled in us.
Right.
When I, played basketball, my coach, he had a phenomenal saying that said, "Earned, never given." And
Right.
it's something that I live by, that I coach by every single team I've coached. That's my motto, earned, never given. And it's beyond, being able to earn playing time on the court, being able to earn a win, earning the championship. It's being able to just earn your place in society, working hard for that job, or working hard for when you become a wife, for your family, for yourself. So just trying to instill that into them that, hey, nothing in life is going to be given to you. You're going to have to work, put some effort into it. That sense of entitlement that can be sensed among this generation. Just trying to help them understand that we have to get rid of that.
Right.
Can't be entitled to a win. You cannot be entitled to a position or a place in life. You have to work for it.
Adults and kids both.
Period.
Yeah, you're
Right.
exactly right. But it's a matched effort, matched energy, just like in a relationship.
Absolutely.
One person can't do all the work, but also too, you have a lot more interest in just sports, and that's what's great about it, is that you're going to help these girls, like you said, develop and go to the next level with your other hobbies that you have and what you've learned along the way.
Right.
To get a master's is not easy.
Oh, it was not easy at all. And I did that still while working full time, and still while being a mom, and still while coaching basketball. So it took a lot. And also at the same time, I wrote the curriculum for the state of North Carolina for 2nd grade social studies. So at the same time, I did all of those things. And it was just the discipline aspect of, this is what I want, this is the work and the effort that I have to put into it, and the sacrifices that I have to make to get there. And just understanding that I think it's just how I am at the place I am even today.
But in order for her to do this, folks, you have to, so much is talked about mental health, have the positive framework mind. She was a multitasker like a lot of us are today. You have to be a multitasker, and organization and consistency are two of the biggest things.
Absolutely. So just that, exactly what you said, that organizational piece is key, heavily key, and especially when you have your hands in multiple pots. And so just like on top of, coaching, I am also a teacher.
Right.
So being able to do that, if you walk into my home, you'll see a big calendar with my schedule, my basketball schedule, my husband's schedule. And our household is just super busy, super
Right.
chaotic. So we have to be able to keep up with each other and, still find time to do our due diligence as, husband and wife and build our families and things such as that. So.
And still talk to your mother once in a while too, right?
And still say hey to my mom.
Right,
on the phone.
exactly. And still has a cook occasionally.
Right.
Yeah. But we're talking here to Mariah Parker. She's the head women's basketball coach. All right, let's talk about that at VPCC. Talk about your staff and your roster.
Yeah, so I have an amazing top assistant coming in who actually was the assistant last year. So he's coming back, Will Morris. He's awesome. He already has a great relationship with this area. I'm from North Carolina,
right.
Where I am heavily connected, heavily plugged in. So coming into a new area, new city, where people don't know you. So he helps me kind of navigate through those things, and it's been awesome, just kind of telling me what's the what's and who's the who's. And Will is awesome. He has a great relationship with the players that are returning. And so he's just, even when I get an idea like 9 o'clock at night, I'm like, Will, he answers, so that can... So that's awesome.
Because you do have GPS too.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for GPS, because there wasn't always GPS years ago. I mean, phones have been around for a good while now, but you got to be organized, and you talk about your roster.
So I have Danae Darnell. She's returning from last season. She was a great help for what they did do last season. So it was great to get her to be able to return. I have a new girl coming in from, her name is Z America. She's coming from, she played a little bit at Ferrum University, so she's coming back, or she's coming to start her her playing time at VPCC. Excited for her. We just got a new commit on campus today. I had a visit today from Kenna Scott. She played at Weber in Florida.
Nice.
So she's excited and ready to get on board, and she's a big, so I didn't have a lot of bigs, so that was awesome to get her to come in. We have a freshman. We just have a
Right.
I'm excited about the season, but we have a lot of freshmen that are coming in just from this area because there is so much talent, right here in the in the backyard of VPCC. So it was great to be able to see that.
Absolutely. Talk about your athletic director, Chris Moore.
Yes.
He hired a gem in you.
Yes.
You are a gem, so
Yes.
he found you.
Yes. Chris is, the connection that I saw with him was that he was passionate. And I tell people all the time that passion attracts passionate people. Just like I know last year the concern for the team was a lack of numbers. And I told Chris, and I told the girls and my staff, I said, passion attracts passionate people. So if you give the effort and you show the passion that you have for this program, there's no reason why you won't get players.
Sure.
And now we have, the numbers aren't a concern, and that's exactly what I saw in Chris. Chris had passion. He had passion for the program. You can tell what he wanted to do, and I had to get on board. It's hard when you have a lot of passion and you work for someone that does not have passion.
Or a toxic person.
Or a toxic person.
Yeah.
Then it just clashes.
It's just, no matter, you don't know, every day it changes.
Exactly.
Might you run a 2-3 zone on defense?
I'll switch I'm a defensive coach.
You are, okay.
I coach defense wins the games.
Right.
Offense sells the tickets.
Uh-huh.
We control the boards, we control the game.
Sure.
So I switch up my defenses a lot. But yes, I like a 2-3 zone.
You do, yeah.
I'm in love with a 3-2 zone
Oh,
as
very
well.
good. Interesting.
I play junk defense.
Okay.
I pull out some tricks. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to kind of play our competition this year, get to know our competition this year. And just kind of, play around and see what fits my team the best, what we can do,
Well, you've been a gem of a guest. You brightened up the TV screen, and your smile is wonderful. And we
Thank
wish
you.
you all the best as the head women's basketball coach at VPCC.
Thank you
so as you're evolving in the area, so is the school as well.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing your season grow as well as yourself.
Thank you.
All right, that our guests right there were Brek Hall and Mariah Parker, and of course our great crew as well: Josh Stuck, Colin Smalls, Brendan Hedgepath, Ryan Hedgepath, Mr. Ray Price, as well, and Mansour Ahmed. Of course, we had wonderful guests here, and hope everybody has a great fall as the school year starts back in earnest in high school and in college, and people working on their master's degrees as well. So for our great show in September, Sports Highlights, for more, log on to nnpstv.com. I'm Greg Bicaveras. We'll talk to you soon.